how much water to give back to the ailing river system without destroying the farmers and townspeople for whom the basin is an economic lifeblood.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I have made it very clear.
Yes or no?
Can you please let Mike finish?
I would like to answer the last question. First of all...
Last October, Taylor and the authority members released a lengthy guide to the water plan, setting out the possible cuts to irrigation water needed for the environment. They were met with fury. It boiled over in the New South Wales town of Griffith.
Governments couldn't give a shit about what happens to us people here.
We are very concerned about those issues regarding...
Okay, we're going to take a question here, up the back.
Mr Taylor and your colleagues, if you don't by now realise what an unholy mess you have created for yourselves and these communities, quite frankly, I have to say that all of you are thick.
We are going to take you to the biggest lawsuit in the land. If I was you, I'd wait till 2 or 3 o'clock, get in your friggin' cars and get the fuck out of here now.
Okay, the man up there with the mic. Okay, the man with Russell.
Mike, could you just answer the question here now?
Soon after, the authority's chairman, Mike Taylor, resigned, saying the Water Act prevented him from compromising the minimum needs of the environment for the needs of irrigators. But many blamed the authority for inflaming irrigators. The criticism rained down. The angry revolt in Griffith has not only undermined the authority, it's also created widespread confusion about the government's water programs in the basin.
Water!
The government has repeatedly promised no farmer will be forced to sell their water. It's spending over $9 billion to buy water for the environment from willing sellers and upgrade irrigation systems to make them more efficient. This message was drowned out at the Griffith meeting.
We've had enough!
This is Prime 7 News with Doug Hogan.
First tonight, angry irrigators and residents from our local region have put their concerns direct to a parliamentary inquiry today. The Murrumbidgee irrigation area will be one of the biggest losers from a proposed cut to water allocations across the Murray-Darling. Today, federal politicians, however, committed to finding a better way to restore the health of the river.
Today's meeting wasn't nearly as fiery as the one last November, but still the thousands of people from across the MIA were warned not to let their emotions get the better of them.
Today isn't about bashing the Murray-Darling Basin Authority. I think we've all realised that the way in which the message was delivered from them wasn't in the most appropriate fashion.
The Basin Authority has come up with a plan to take 3 to 4 trillion litres of water from irrigators and send it back down the river. Today's meeting has been convened to hear if the health of the river can be restored in other ways, and the clear message from locals is there has to be a smarter solution.
Reductions of the scale proposed in the guide will turn our successful business model on its head and put at risk essential services in this district.
What we're saying, I guess, and what the community's saying really is, let's have a look at all these other options before this fairly blunt instrument that frightened the hell out of people is put in place.
Presenters railed at the plan's narrow-mindedness, that it just suggests flooding the basin with water without considering more efficient ways to use that water. The region's representatives say the government has already worked out some solutions and they need to be tried before farmers lose their allocations and their livelihoods.
There's $5.8 billion set aside for that water savings infrastructure, and I think a lot of the regional towns and communities now expect some of that infrastructure to be rolled out to get the sort of savings that we require.
For now, it's hoped a combination of record floods and political uneasiness will combine to put this whole plan on the back burner. Benjamin Shahita, Prime News.